In the previous video, we looked at the accounting grade 12 scope summary. In the current video, we're going to be looking at the detail of the June 2025 for the exam preparation. I've used June 22 financial accounting grade 12 exam to help you, to assist you in terms of what you should be on the lookout for. I've already stated that there will be 4 questions that you need to respond to. The first one, we'll be looking at the statement of financial position as well as the note. The second one will be your fixed asset cash flow statement as well as the financial indicator. The third one will be looking at the interpretation of the financial indicators. And then the last one will be the corporate governance. So what we're going to do now, we're going to be looking more in detail to see in each question what you'll be looking to cover. In question 1, as I've already said, statement of financial position and the note. So you will need to know how does the financial statement of financial position look like, as well as you need to know the note to the statement of financial position. So what you'll be required, or what you should be looking for, you'll be given the statements that you need to complete the weights for. If you look at 1.1 as an example, they said complete each of the following statement by choosing the weight from the list. You are provided the weight from the list, which is 4, and then you have 3 questions that you need to respond to. And as you look in the statements that you are provided, there are 3 dots that you need to complete. So in those 3 dots, that's where this weight should fit in. So what is important for you to understand, it is that when you are responding to those questions, you need to only write the weight. You are not required to bring back this full statement that is provided to you. By bringing back the statements, you'll be wasting time and you will be answering what is not required from you. Let us make an example. 1.1.1, if you're saying the answer to 1.1.1, it is external auditor, you need to say 1.1 external auditors. You do not have to write the full sentence. Then for 1.2, what you should expect that you will be provided the details of the company. Obviously, you will be told what is the year end of the company, and then you'll be required to complete the note to the financial position or the statement of financial position or what is previously known balance sheet. In the past exam, the candidates were required to look at the ordinary share capital as well as the retained earnings. What you should do in preparation of your exam, make sure that you understand how the note for ordinary share capital look like as well as the retained income. 1.2.2, the candidate was required to prepare the statement of financial position. Obviously, the information that you would have already calculated in 1.2.1 will then assist you to complete the statement. For that reason, you must answer each question in sequence. For 1.2, you should not answer 1.2.2 and then go back to 1.2.1. However, start with 1.2.1. Let's see what question 2 potentially will come with. Question 2, it's your fixed asset cash flow statement and the financial indicators. Let's look at the example of what you should expect in question 2. You expect that you will be required to choose the correct weight or weights. If you look at 2.1, 2.1.1.1 to 2.1.1.3, there are weights in bracket that you are given. And this weight, you need to select the correct one. So what does that mean? It means if you feel like the correct question between the current assets and financial assets, the correct one is current assets, you need to say 2.1.1 is current assets, and you're not required to bring back the full statement. Bring back the full statement will be the waste of your time. And you do not have so much time in the exam. So make sure that your time you are not wasting on answering the information that you shouldn't be answering. And so let us move at 2.2. 2.2, what will happen? You'll be provided information about the certain company. The company that you'll be provided, let us call it A Limited, because it will not be this company. It will be a company that is different from what was written in 2022. What you should expect when it comes to 2.2, you will have to calculate the missing figure. In this case, the candidates were required to calculate the missing figure for 3 numbers in the fixed asset note. 2.2.2 calculates the following amounts for the cash flow statements. We already know that the question contained fixed asset, cash flow statements, as well as the financial indicators. Then The cash flow statement, you know it on cash basis. Therefore, whatever that you're calculating here should be on cash flow basis. Then what do you have here? You had to calculate fixed asset purchased, dividends paid, as well as a decrease in the loan. And all this information provided to you, it has to be on cash basis. 2.2.3, candidates was required to complete the net change in cash and cash equivalent section of the cash flow statement. How do you calculate that? You need operating activity, financing activity, as well as investing activity of the company that will be provided to you. Therefore, in your preparation, you need to understand how to calculate net change in cash and cash equivalent for your June exam. What more do you need to know? It's the financial indicators. So what is nice about this question is that for the financial indicators, you will be provided the table where you have the formula. So the formula sheet will be provided to you that you need to use in order to calculate these ratios. So that takes us to the end of question 2. Let us look at what question 3 will have. Question 3 with the interpretation of the financial information. In this case, you will be provided the calculation of the financial indicators and other relevant calculation that will be provided to you, and you will need to respond using that information that has been provided to you. Let's look at 3.1. 3.1 had profitability and operating efficiencies. So the candidates need to understand in selection of the financial indicators provided, which one relate to profitability of the company, operating efficiency. Those are your P&L financial indicators. So you need to understand which one are those. Identify and explain which company has been more efficient in controlling its operating activity. You just needed to quote 2 financial indicators that are outlining the profitability, operating efficiency of the company. In this case, 2 companies were provided, and then you need to select those ratios for those 2 companies and analyze which one is doing well or is more efficient. 3.2 is looking at liquidity. You have to use information provided to you, and it is information A. What you do when you have that information, you identify and explain which company has better liquidity financial indicators. You quote 2 financial indicators, not more than 2, but 2 exactly. You don't spend time by quoting more than what you're required or by responding with more information than you're required, because in the exam, only 2 will be marked and it will be the first 2. So you don't want to risk yourself by spending either more time, and number 2, if you're not spending more time, you are responding on the third one in a correct way while the first 2 were not right, meaning to say you're going to lose mark even though your third one was correct. So make sure the first 2 is the correct one. Second point, explain one concern you have about the liquidity of the other company. You need to quote 1 financial indicators. So that means you're looking at the liquidity financial indicator and you explain your concern. We're still continuing on question number 3. The next part is looking at the dividends. You comment on the difference between the dividends payout policy implemented by each director of the 2 companies and explain one possible reason for each of their decision in their respective companies. You quote figures or the indicators. So you are using the information presented to you in order to comment on the both companies. 3.4 is looking at gearing, risk, financing, and investing activities. So you need to understand what this means. Before you go to your June exam, you need to have a clear understanding of what this means to you. You need to refer to information A, B, and C. Once you've done that, you need to explain the specific decision taken by the directors of each company by each company that have affected gearing and risk. You quote rent amounts. So the information you have, you quote those amounts and explain the decision. Comment on the gearing and the risk of Nigel Ltd. Quote 2 financial indicators. So you're only looking at one company here. You're not comparing, you're looking at one company. At the company AGM, an angry shareholder said that the directors' aggressive strategy would probably lead to the failure of the company in future. Explain 2 points why shareholders might feel this way. So you need to explain using the information that is presented to you why you feel shareholders might feel that the aggressive strategies might affect the company operation in the future. So all the information that you'll be answering to here is on information A, B, and C. So make sure that you use that information in order to respond. Let us see what question 3.5 has. 3.5 is looking at the market prices. You need to look at information A and B. Shareholders of this company are not satisfied with the market price of their shares, whereas the shareholders of company B are satisfied. So the first shareholder of first company, which is this one, they are not satisfied. However, the shareholders of this company, which is this company, are satisfied. Explain by quoting figures or indicators. And for each company, identify a factor that would have affected the market price of the shares. You need to understand what is the market price and what would potentially affect the market price. 3.6, it's looking at the shareholding of those two companies. Refers to information B and D. That means the information that you need to use it's in B and D. What you will need to answer, provide calculation to show the change in J's percentage shareholding in this company over the financial year. Comment on his percentage shareholding in each company. You are required to calculate the total profit or loss he's currently making on his shares in each company and advise if it is wise to sell 19,000 shares in the company or not. So you are basically using the information presented to you in order to perform the calculation or respond to the question. Let's take us to the last question, which is question number 4, and we're looking at the corporate governance. As I've already explained to you in the past, that corporate governance is looking at it's the conduct rather of the directors of the company, people that are operating or running the company on behalf of the shareholders. You have presented information, and in that information you need to respond to. This is the information that is presented to you. I'm not going to read it here because the main purpose of this video is to take you through the scope. Let's look at 4.1. 4.1 says, will the CEO say that it is unfair to place this a responsibility of the companies because the government should be accountable for attending to those issues? You need to provide 2 points where you explain how you should respond to the CEO statement. Let us say you're working for this company. What will be your response to the CEO statement? 4.2 refers to the information regarding Franco Ltd. State whether Franco Ltd is a public or private company. How you know that? If it's Ltd, then it is a public company. If it's Pty Ltd, it's a private company. This is the easiest question that you find in the exam. Explain why employees and investors were distressed by this incident. Using the information provided to you, you need to explain why the employees and investors were distressed. Explain what went wrong in the company to allow for this fraud to occur. State 3 different or separate points. Each point will have 2 marks. Make sure you don't state more than 3 points. You've already been guided in terms of how many points you need to write. I'd like to wish you all the best for your June exam preparation. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Economics 199. And also please follow me on TikTok. It's also Economics 199. All the best for your upcoming exam. I wish you everything that comes your way.